5 red lights at Shanghai International Circuit, and the virtual Grand Prix of China is underway with Charles Leclerc leading the field from pole position, Albon in second place, and then Louis Delatraz, and immediately trying to make amends for that penalty and getting onto the grass. I think that was George Russell who's going backwards, but it's an easy maintain of the lead for Charles Leclerc, and meanwhile they're going 4 wide, sorting it out as they go down to turn number 2. Albon in second place, Gutierrez up to third. Guan Yu Zhou desperately wants to win his home race. He's up to fourth with Stoffel Van Dorn in 5th place. We had a Williams on the grass at the start, and making the move in the background there was Antonio Giovinazzi trying to move up to 7th position. Going wide there was Esteban Gutierrez. So up to 3rd place goes Guan Yu Zhou. We're on board with Stoffel Van Dorn in P5.
What a start from Zhou, up to P3, really getting in the mix already. Charles Leclerc out in front, 9/10 ahead of Albon. He's not really going to have any chances, Alex, going down that straight unless Charles makes a mistake. They're all going very wide, as we see there, gaining as much time as they possibly can.
Oh, that's Carlos Sainz into the wall on debut and heading to the back of the pack. The damage is reduced, so he'll be able to get going again, but Sainz dropping it, and that's real disappointment for him on debut.
As we come on board with the postman, Ian Poulter, who had a little bit of a grimace there as he went wide through that right-hander, but great to see him running in P12.
He was running in P12. And we've got Esteban Gutierrez getting past. I think we can check in with Ian. Ian, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, well, that was a bit of a rude move from Gutierrez.
Yeah, it was a bit bullyish, wasn't it?
No, I didn't like that at all. We'll have a word with the stewards for you. And Ian, how are you finding it so far? You seem to be working the wheel pretty heavily right now.
Yeah, I'm just getting used to it. I mean, it's a lot better than last time I was out, but as I'm right up the backside of Giovinazzi.
Are you going to send one for us? Go on, Ian. Send one down the inside for us. Oh.
I don't think anyone's ever scratched their nose going and making an overtaking move on Formula 1. That's amazing.
So Callum Ilot's got a penalty, and Poulter's got the inside line, and he's got the position back. Nicely done
and
there.
By Russell as well.
So Russell gets past, and Poulter up to 13th. Ian, it looks pretty frenetic. We're going to leave you to it as we go back to the track action.
Great, I'm loving it. Getting the wind now. Oh, right in amongst it now. Come on.
Good luck, Ian.
Let's have it. Oh, no, he's gone down the inside. Damn it.
So lap 11 of 28, and I believe we can check in with the driver you're looking at the moment, Thibaut Courtois, to find out how things are going. Thibaut, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How's it going so far? You've got cars absolutely everywhere right now, but you must be pleased with your race so far.
Yeah, I had a bit bad luck on the start because of cars, and then suddenly I scored. Fortunate because otherwise I had a decent start, but now it's going quite well.
Yeah,
running, to box in a bit.
Running in the top 10, but yet to make your stop. What's your aim for the rest of the race, apart from to keep as many drivers behind as possible in this moment in time? We can hear you banging down through the gears right now, Thibaut.
Yeah, just trying to fight against those guys, and I don't know. We'll see how my pace is on the hards, and then I don't know. See where I can get in.
Well, thank you very much, Thibaut Courtois, for checking in mid-race. So many big names taking part in this 3rd virtual Grand Prix of the year so far. Carlos Sainz now in the lead because Liam Lawson has come into the pits. So Albon has got slipped behind Charles Leclerc. 0.3 of a second the gap now, and the battle for what will be the race lead now in favour of Charles Leclerc, getting back ahead. But there's a lot to be resolved here. Carlos Sainz yet to pit as we go to another battle. That is a sweet move from Esteban Gutierrez with the better tyre life, and now with 6th position.
Fantastic move. Danny Rick-esque, sending him one way, going down the other. Lovely move. Correa doing a brilliant job in P7. Very much on the pace on this F1 game. Don't think he's played too much of it, to be honest. I know he does like a sim, but running on those medium tyres at the moment. George Russell, will he still be livid after those penalties? Not sure, but he's running in P8. I'm sure he'd definitely want to be higher up the field, as he is on the pace with Charles Leclerc, as I mentioned earlier, maybe 1 or 2 tenths back. And that is probably not the cleanest move he's ever done.
Pretty rude stuff from George Russell, barging his way past, but I think that probably is reflective of his mood right now. Oh, Oh, Guan Yu Zhou right now in P3. Will he stay there with Van Dorn putting the car in a dangerous position? Try to hang on around the outside of turn 2. And it's Guan Yu Zhou who finds himself retaking the position that he lost at the pit stops. So that undercut strategy, good enough to get you track position, but not good enough as the race progresses. And Zhou, well, he's already had a race win earlier this year in Bahrain, slightly defensive into turn 6, knows he's not yet clear of Van Dorn, but right now, he's in P3 and he will be delighted at what is, it might be a virtual Grand Prix, but it's still his home event.
Absolutely, fantastic racing.
And Giovinazzi having to go defensive because there's a difference in tyre strategy playing out here, and Lawson knows it, tries the up and under. This is where you need good traction. At the moment, Giovinazzi just about able to keep him behind, so it's not a devastating difference in tyre grip between the two. But as you can see, the Italian driver, expecting to start his second season in Formula 1, really struggling to keep the F3 hotshot behind, and it's brave to go all the way around the outside, but that's exactly what the Kiwi is trying to do. Doesn't quite have the room, and now tries to put his car in the middle. They bang wheels once and twice, and still Antonio Giovinazzi stays ahead of Liam Lawson, and all the time that Lawson is doing this, he can't use that tyre advantage to catch others ahead. Still, we go down to turn number 6 with this not yet resolved. Giovinazzi with the older tyres, but with track position, and Liam Lawson from attacking the Alfa Romeo now finds himself looking in the mirrors and falling behind Nicholas Latifi.
You can have as much of tyre advantage as possible. If you lose talent, then there's nothing you can do about it. So Liam Lawson, unfortunately, although still side by side with Latifi up the inside, gets that position back. Will he get the traction out of that double left-hander? It looks just about like he's going to hold on, but will he get DRS? He won't. So I think that he could lose a position again to Latifi, and with Carlos Sainz flying in the background.
This is not easy at all. This is just so much fun, but more pressure than what I experience week in, week out.
What has been the most difficult thing for you picking up this game? Because you do a lot of sim racing, you have your own sim rig, but F1 2019 is a completely different ball game. What have you found the most difficult picking up the game?
Well, it feels a little different to the other game I play. I mean, it's just these guys are so quick, and then you think you're okay, and actually you're rubbish. So I think it's managing the expectations and the disappointment of guys like this guy that's right behind me right now. I haven't been blue flagged, so I'm sure that's it. He can ghost his way past me.
He can, but he's a two-time Grand Prix winner. He is a two-time Grand Prix winner, Ian. He's no slouch right now.
Maybe I can get a little tip from actually watching some of the lines he's taking, because he's making me look relatively slow. Well, in fact, I am extremely slow. But it's just incredible. I mean, these guys are. There's a reason why they're paid what they're paid, and I mean, I wouldn't be half as... Oh, look at that now. Look.
Oh, no.
Oh, you've got me all flustered.
We've ruined Ian's race. Oh.
Another one.
The commentator's curse. So back to the race leader with just the final sector really to go now. Last week, it was utterly dominant stuff from Charles Leclerc. He was a class above everyone else. Today, Alexander Albon made it past lap 1 facing in the right direction and has applied the pressure all the time. But the outcome is going to be absolutely identical. He has taken pole, and he is one corner away from converting it into another superb victory. He can see the checkered flag. The Monegasque driver comes downhill, and Charles Leclerc wins the virtual Grand Prix of China from Alexander Albon. 2 in a row for Leclerc. Albon onto the podium for the first time in a virtual Grand Prix. And Guan Yu Zhou gets ahead. With that penalty applied for Stoffel Van Dorn, it will be Guan Yu Zhou heading to the podium in 3rd place at his home event, and George Russell, for all of his irritation today, he is going to finish in 4th with a strong showing. 3rd last time, 4th today, but once again, the class of the field has been Charles Leclerc. We're on board with his teammate, Callum Ilott, as he comes across the line. Leclerc, Albon and Zhou, the podium after 28 laps of thoroughly entertaining racing.